Hey, Ag Teacher Thoughts here, coming at you kind of midday through my day. So it is now my prep period, and I only have a little bit longer with some of the examples that I have here, so that's kind of one of the reasons I'm doing a midday here. So one of the things that's really kind of neat about being an ag teacher is you get to have unique things in our classroom. We could have plants. We'd have chunks of concrete. We'd have boards, electrical wiring. And sometimes we get to have animals. So today was one of those days where we actually got to have some animals in the shop. Well, more in our classroom space. So I tapped some of my community members. I don't have the option to really have any of these in my own home. My community and where I live is a little small to have free-range animals, so to speak. But I tapped a couple of community members because we have a contest coming up, which is our Poultry Evaluation contest coming up for FFA. So I needed to have some examples for my students to handle. What better place to keep animals than to come out into the greenhouse? So, oh, by the way, here's another look at the greenhouse. So she's starting to look really good. Those baskets are coming along, and we still have many weeks until we get to Mother's Day. But here is our guest today. So we've got a couple of chickens here that we are using as examples. I actually got to do a Facebook post today. I got to do a Facebook post, actually it was a little bit earlier, and I said, hey, can anybody loan me a chicken? Which is kind of a really weird request. I was told I won the Facebook post of the day, but yeah, I got to borrow some chickens from a community member for one of our lessons. So one of the things that's really unique about being an ag teacher and about teaching kids about agriculture and the trades is that you get to have exposure to things that you wouldn't normally have. You get to do projects and work with animals, work with physical items, just a lot of things that are different. It's not all about textbooks and writing and typing and reports. A lot of times it's just simply handling things. So today, handling chickens is one of those things. So getting the chance to look at a chicken and understand what makes a good chicken. You know, why is this laying hen better than the others? How do you identify it? How can you tell from a distance that she's a good laying hen? What makes a good broiler? You know, getting your hands on a chicken and saying, oh, I understand now, you know, feeling the chicken's body, feeling the chicken breast, and realizing that, you know, the size and the shape and all of that equates to a better chicken. That's what we're doing today. We're getting real hands-on. And even if a student doesn't take on, you know, poultry or agriculture as a career, they at least gain knowledge about that industry. So when they gain knowledge, they become an advocate for that industry, and if they're not an advocate, they become a better consumer. So they'll understand what good quality products are by understanding where it comes from on the animal and getting a chance to see that. So really, if you boil down all agriculture or career and tech classes, it's all about the experience. It's not necessarily, you know, it's not necessarily making a choice memorizing facts or figures or writing reports. A lot of times, the whole point of it is exposure and just understanding different industries, developing a passion. You know, right here, I've got those hanging baskets. Now, do I expect my students to have a nursery and build their own greenhouses and sell plants? No. Do I expect them to raise their own chickens? No. But if they were never exposed to those things, they'd never know whether or not that was a passion in life. And really what we are is about helping a student find themselves, find what it is in their life that sparks an interest. And that's why we have weird things. Down here, there's a whole bunch of catfish in the bottom of that tank. I have not as many options as I'd like for my students. There's still a lot of things that I would like to see. There's a lot of equipment I'd like to purchase, but we're a government entity, and sometimes it's hard to change. But I do rely a lot on my community to really help provide experiences for my students. And having the chickens brought in today was one of those. It started with community contact and talking to them about, can you loan us, loan us some chickens so that we can handle those. Not all schools have the option to have a school farm. A lot do, but actually very few in our area do. But where I originally taught, there were several schools that had their own school farms. So we rely heavily on our community to help us out with some of those things. And there's just a lot to unpack. And, I bet you some of these students that after today, you ask them 20 years from now, hey, what was one of the funnest things you did in Mr. Ross's class? Or what was one of the odd things that you did? And, whoops, other than drop a phone, you might get a response. Well, there was that one time that he brought in chickens, and we got to handle chickens in class, and that was really, really cool. So, yeah, it's those kind of things. And, maybe that's what sparks a fire. And they're like, yeah, I want to work with chickens. I want to work with animals. I want to be a veterinarian. It's all about those experiences. So anyway, I figured that would be a good thing to talk about today, is just kind of weird things that come into the shop. Today it's chickens. But yeah, so anyway, neat insight. And I just wanted to get this video shot before the chickens go home. They go home at lunch today, not for lunch. They leave at lunch. They still have a lot of eggs to lay, so we're not sending them to lunch yet. But anyway, I need to get this one shot before our chickens disappear and we miss out on that opportunity. All right, so thanks for joining me.